Ultrabeat is not just a killer drum synth, but a full-fledged drum machine with a 32-step sequencer at the bottom of the interface. There are 24 patterns you can program per drum kit, selected right here in the bottom left, just like this. The letters SQ next to a pattern means the pattern has data. If I go to this pattern, it's empty. The factory patterns are amazing to get you started. Just for example, this is a nice one. You can hear that there are great bass sounds in Ultrabeat as well. As you choose each drum voice above, you can see the steps that were entered in the step grid. The kick, the hi-hats, here's the kick, here's our hi-hats. Again, if you don't see the letters SQ next to the drum voice, it's your indication that there is nothing that's been entered into for that voice. You enter new steps just by clicking on them. Let's go to this hi-hat that has a pattern. Just removed them all, clicking again, and entered straight, steady hi-hats. Let's go back to the default pattern C1. Here's our kick data. There's no snare. I'll enter it in. We'll select the snare, and I'll just enter steps here at 5, 13, 21, 31, just like that. So let's adjust the sound of this kick. I'll highlight kick 1 at the bottom of the drum voice list. I'll start by extending the width of this first step in the grid out to about the 5th step to lengthen the gate time. And let's make it a little louder. The envelope section on the right of the drum synthesizer section has 4 envelopes. Envelope 4, by default, is assigned to amplitude, your secret weapon for deep Miami bass kicks. Envelope 4 is selected by default. I'll drag this first node, the blue dot, to the right to slow the attack. Of course, I didn't grab the right one. Here we go. And listening now. This created sort of a curved shape to the envelope and that even deeper kick sound. This next step grid technique is really instant gratification. I started doing it before, but I want to show you again. Selecting the closed hi-hat, I just drag across. There's no data in the step grid yet, but I'll just drag across to trigger the sounds. Now, I'll control-click into the step grid area to randomize the velocity and gate time to create more of a human drummer feel. Control-clicking, randomize velocity. You can see the height of these blue bars has been adjusted. Going back in, randomize the gate time. The width has changed. Listening now to the hi-hats, let's make them a little bit louder. Dragging on the blue bar. I can add an accent to any of the steps with these little blue dots above the numbers of the step grid. Maybe I'll add an accent to steps 25, 26, 31. And I'll deselect step 32. And adjust how much we're hearing of the accent right here to the left. Make it a little bit more pronounced. And I can control the swing beneath. Off, on. And here's the amount of swing. You can look at all the sequence data at once by clicking the Full View button in the lower right. I'll add a few wood blocks here. Where did my wood block go? Right up top here. This next step is key to the Ultrabeat being a practical beat-making tool. After I finish all this old-school programming, I can drag the MIDI data to the main window. If I select this small button in the lower left, just to the right of the word pattern, and I can just drag this straight out to the main window. And you can't tell this apart now from something I had programmed directly into Logic. Listening to the part right here from inside of Logic. Now I have all of Logic's MIDI options to edit. I can split the pattern into regions based on drum voice from this edit menu, separate MIDI events by note pitch, and now they're all separated out. I can do individual quantizing or adjust the arrangement of where any of these parts come in. Fantastic feature. Be careful. Ultrabeat can be playing even when Logic is not, which can throw you off when you're in the main window and the transport is stopped in Logic, but you're still hearing Ultrabeat. So once you drag out a pattern, make sure, I actually did this before but didn't tell you, make sure you shut off the step grid play button right over here inside of Ultrabeat so that you're just hearing the data from the Logic main window once you've dragged it out. This step grid allows you to program Ultrabeat like a vintage drum machine. I hope you agree it's very easy and fun.